Bienvenidos, amigos, to another episode of the More Life Diaries podcast. And on today's episode, we'll be catching you guys up on what's been going on in our lives here in beautiful Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. It was just Independence Day, so we'll tell you guys all about that. We'll give you guys a nice little off-season weather update, and we'll be talking about our previous episodes, so our apartment hunting in PV part 1. So answering a bunch of your questions. We'll also be talking about what I like to call gatekeepers, or just negative people in some of the Facebook groups about moving to Mexico. And we'll be finishing off this podcast with a very odd donation at buymeacoffee.com. We'll be reading the comment and the donation, and you do not want to miss that, and that I can guarantee. Let's get into it.
What is More Life Diaries? Reflections of the past. Life in the moment. Manifestations of the future. This is our journey. The More Life Diaries podcast.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you guys tuning in. For those that are returning, on a bi-weekly basis, thank you so much. And if you are new to the channel here or new to this podcast, please consider hitting the subscribe button. It helps us greatly. It keeps the lights on in the beautiful studio, and we do appreciate you tuning in. We're going to start off the podcast by just catching you guys up on what's been going on since our last podcast, which was a couple of weeks ago. You want to start this one?
Sure. So last week was Independence Day here. September 16th officially is the day.
16th to 17th.
So we were really excited for that because we hadn't experienced that before.
Mm-hmm.
Learning moment. The actual day is the 16th. The cool stuff happens before.
Yeah. So we were really excited for the, I guess, like traditional Mexican cowboy parade, which was on the Thursday.
So the 13th or the 14th.
Like in the middle of the day, randomly.
We're working and we hear it, and then we see other people posting it. We're like, oh.
Yeah, and we found it really hard to find times of stuff online. I don't know if it was just us. Comment down below if it's just us being newbies. I saw
a lot of people talking about it in like Facebook groups, and like even they seemed confused because someone would put a flyer, and then like a bunch of other people would have a different time. And that's why we were confused. Yeah. So yeah, there was a Thursday sort of, I can't remember the word. It's like chararia. I don't know. Please don't hate on me because I saw it once. But basically the cowboy parade.
Yeah.
Which we missed. Again, it was midday on a Thursday. Like the kids were at school, we were working. Weren't expecting it. And then we kind of thought, oh, well, there must be other stuff happening. A lot of stuff happened the Friday night. So there was just like some stuff in Plaza de Armas, like food and other things. And then there was like a fireworks show, which we did know about. And we knew that was happening at like 11:30. Which we were
called like the Grita or something?
No, it's the fireworks and then La Grita at like midnight.
At midnight.
And we're like, yeah, we know, we've tried for like New Year's and other things to stay up with the kids that late. And we've failed hard every time. We bring a wagon so they can fall asleep. We can't move anywhere in the streets because it's like so packed. We're like, okay, like we can't all go for sure. Mark was gonna soldier it through, but
I was gonna go and
the
get
kids
some footage.
Outlasted him anyway.
I was gonna get some footage for you guys, and we had earlier in late afternoon we had swimming classes with Bass. We ended up staying really late. Coming home really late, so we were like really burnt out from the day. I wanted to soldier it and go grab some footage for you guys, and I just didn't make it. So we were a little bit bummed out that we missed that. Like,
And then we thought, well, there's going to be something. I guess it was a Saturday that we thought we'd wake up and have something. And that was at 8:30.
Yeah. And we're expecting it to be at 11.
And that's where the confusion was. And the Facebook groups were like 10, 11, 1. And then someone put in a flyer. They're like, guys, it's 8:30. And we're like, 8:30? Who does a parade at 8:30?
Yeah. And that one we were more
and it was a military parade.
A military parade, which we aren't that interested in, but we would have gone anyways, just knowing the right time. 8:30 is a little bit early for us since we are late bloomers where I am.
I thought you woke up at 6:30 though. Funny.
Kathleen's still mad about that. For footage, guys, I wake up at 6:30.
This was footage.
Otherwise, I sleep until 7:30.
Plus.
But yeah, we basically missed everything. We heard it from our place, but we missed absolutely everything.
Yeah. We totally flaked out on the Independence Day.
Lesson learned. We did go for like walks on the Malecon before and after. So we saw like the little decorations they had. Nothing else major on there, just a few decorations. But yeah, I mean, seemed like it was fun.
Yeah, I mean, from what I heard from other people that went, they're like, it's kind of like every Friday night, but just a lot more crowded.
Yeah.
There's always fireworks here. There's always food in Plaza de Armas. There's always shows at Los Arcos.
Yeah.
There's just a lot less people. So.
And yeah, we've been, like Kathleen said, we've been out when there was an event and it was way too crazy and busy for us to like bring Callie, bring Bassie, and like have to carry them or bring the wagon. And then you end up having to take side streets back home, which is like sidewalks non-existent, heavy traffic on the road. So yeah, it's just, yeah.
Yeah, we've
learned.
We know we can't keep them up.
We know our limitations.
And their limitations. So I guess the next, we'll have to either find someone to watch them or wait till the grandparents come.
Yeah.
Because that's what we did for New Year's.
Yeah, for sure. And I want to talk about just a little bit like off season here in PV. We've been covering it basically every podcast just to see what's going on. I want to make an official episode where we give you guys some tips and tricks on if you do want to come here during the off season, kind of like the, I guess, benefits and maybe challenges. But it has been very hot as of late, very humid, so it gets worse before it gets better.
This
and
is a sweat glow.
The water is a little bit murky. So, you know, I went for a swim the other day at Playa Camarones. I went for a swim.
Yeah, like you guys, we go and we're like, we're going to cool off in the ocean. It's going to be great. And then you get in, you're like, it's a warm, murky bath.
Warm, murky bath. And especially after a heavy rainfall, like once the rios clear out, all the dirt that's been in there.
It's like wood chips.
Yeah, you see it like in the ocean. You see a line of like brown murk and then what the ocean should actually be. And it's just kind of like off-putting a little bit.
Yeah, and like you're just like swimming in wood chips. It's not all the beaches, like Camarones, Los Muertos are going to be like that. Maybe you're on the hotel zone. Yeah. But if you go south, I know that a lot of those ocean, like the beaches there tend to be a little bit more clear still.
And we might go this weekend.
So we'll let you know.
So we'll let you guys know like what the difference is because as of late, the waves have been pretty aggressive here too. Like in downtown and definitely in hotel zone as well. But that's not always. So that could really change on a weekly basis, I'd say.
Mm-hmm. And I've been finding that the beaches, they're pretty quiet. They were like really crazy. We've been a couple times and like there's no one. I don't know if it's the heat or someone said like September and everyone's back to school here. Everyone's back to school back where all the tourists are coming from. So it's just not a very heavy touristy time.
Although we haven't really been on a busy like Sunday afternoon.
We went Sunday morning.
Yeah. Okay. So we try to miss the Sunday afternoon traffic. We've gone to some beaches, especially the ones south of PV, on Sunday afternoons, and the traffic is crazy.
It's
the
parking.
Beaches are crazy.
Parking is really hard to find.
It's off day for a lot of Mexican people, so they'll work like 6 days a week. They'll get Sundays off. So it is fun.
Like a vibe. The energy is really good.
People enjoying themselves, but like
you got to get there early and get your spot.
The water, everyone's in the water, so it gets really busy. If you try to find like a little nook somewhere in the water, it's really hard to find. What else has been going on? Like even in the like off season, besides the humidity.
A lot of restaurants and businesses close, like the smaller ones, not like the large chain ones, but more like mom and pop places. They will close for a period of time because it is slow, and then they go on their own vacation. So that's something to expect. I mean, there's definitely still a lot of options. It's not as if you won't be able to find any open restaurants, but if you're coming here in hopes of eating at a specific place that you've been before, I would just check, right? Like, because they go on vacation for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, we saw a lot in August. We're seeing some in September as well. So
it
August,
seems
September.
like now, at the time of the recording, September 22nd, things are starting to pick up. These places are like reopening. I think some of the earlier snowbirds will start coming back soon.
Yeah.
This is like the start, like the end of slow season, the beginning of the busier season. So like it's like a slow trickle in of the returnees.
Yeah. And besides that, we're slowly getting ready to move, which is coming up in a couple of weeks. Do you want to?
Not even.
Do you want to touch on what we're doing to get ready?
So far, absolutely nothing. Sorry. We wanted to get in there last week just to see what we needed, because when we visited it, there was someone living there, so we weren't really 100% sure what was that current tenant's belongings versus what comes with the apartment. So we wanted to just kind of get an idea what we need to already have. They're doing some renovations in the washroom, which is a good thing. So it's whatever needs to be done is being done. So hopefully this week we get in there while the kids are in school and can move some things.
Yeah, we basically have clothes and
it's toys
that we have a lot of.
I think you and I have not bought much clothes.
Yeah.
The kids accumulate toys somehow.
Yeah.
And
like, they like the grandparents have bought toys.
They've
and
brought old toys from home.
So, I mean, we got the SUV. We'll do a couple of carloads. We're moving basically 10 minutes away by car. So it's not a big move by any means. But we don't have too much. I think like it'll be fairly easy to just pack up and go. I mean, some people accumulate, furniture, TVs, electronics, everything with here. And I think we kind of felt once we got in here, like, let's wait and make sure that we want to stay here for a year, 2 years. And that didn't happen. So
we didn't buy anything that ties us here specifically.
Despite the uncomfortable furniture, we're like, let's just tough it out. And in our next apartment, look for some comfortable furniture.
Well, it comes with comfortable furniture.
Yeah, and I think we're going to buy a few things here and there
as well. Some cushions, some throws.
And on the topic of our apartment hunting, so our video part 1, we kind of left it on a little cliffhanger. And
I told him not to, guys. I said that's really cruel.
And it's performing really, really well. So like outperformed any video we've ever made, which was surprise to me that, it would outperform some of the better videos, in my opinion, that we've done. But I guess a lot of people now are apartment hunting, getting closer to high season.
I'm not surprised because I love that. I love HGTV. I love an apartment hunt.
Yeah.
I know you hated it. I like seeing apartments. I like seeing what's in there, what's available.
There isn't many of those types of videos around PV showing, like, there are some luxurious ones showing high-end places, but there's none showing like mid-range affordable options.
A typical one for most people, right?
So we're hoping to eventually maybe get in contact with a real estate agent that, will want to collab and have us show some of the higher end properties versus some of the mid-range, lower end properties, and see, what the difference is, what you're getting in terms of money for value, I guess.
Yeah, we'd like to show the range. The reason why we didn't in the video is basically like that was our actual apartment hunt. So everything in the video is what was in our range, what our filters were for. So like our budget, our 2 bedrooms, like our wish list. So those are really like, we didn't want to waste the people's time by like looking at a place that was completely out of our budget. And also we were trying to get this done as quickly as we could. And so that's why we didn't like go see some crazy, $4,000 a month place.
Yeah.
But we would like to be able to show the range of, that price tag on a condo and like the romantic zone to, a house in Gaviotas to something really cheap, maybe like a studio, bare bones, unfurnished, wherever, right? It would be really cool to show the exact range because people come here looking for all different things. And I think one thing is we were looking for furnished, but unfurnished is also an option here. And it is a way to save money. Like they're obviously cheaper when they come unfurnished. You have to buy the furniture, and so how much that's going to cost you is really up to what you are willing to spend, what you want.
My suggestion would be, if you're looking at unfurnished, kind of make sure it is the perfect place that you're willing to stay in for like a couple of years, because it's quite a commitment to come in unfurnished, buy furniture, and then have to, move or have to try to sell all of your furniture after a year.
I think if you're like one person or a couple, it's like a 1 bedroom or a studio, like that's not too bad. Like you're not getting that many things. There are a lot of buy and sell options, and like I've seen the moving company prices. They're not crazy.
Yeah.
So they're like, for a full truck, this was a family of 4. So they probably had a lot of stuff. I think it was around 4,000 pesos. Yeah. And that was like a full home with like, people with 2 or 3 kids.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be terrible. You would save a lot of money up front.
But if you are a real estate agent in PV and you'd like to collab on a video, contact us at morelifediaries@gmail.com or comment down below, whatever.
Or if you have a few properties that you're interested in showing, we would love to see a broader range of places and prices and just styles and neighborhoods as well.
And a question that we did get was like, why not Fluvial, or why not this neighborhood? And we were not restricting any neighborhoods. Like we're just really looking based on our criteria, which wasn't necessarily like neighborhood specific.
There was an area, like obviously, like we want to stay in like the central area of PV, not central, but like just
like walkability was a big factor for us, and we wanted to be close to the things that we do on a daily basis or very often. So that kind of narrowed it down to specific, like Cinco de Diciembre, Santa Maria, Versailles,
Areales.
Yeah, those types of areas. And even Aralias is like not very walkable, but it's close to everything still.
Aralias is close to a lot. It's just we were kind of basing our choice around the kids' school area.
Yeah.
That we didn't want to be farther from it than now.
And Fluvial, for those that don't know, it's like right around the Costco area. It's kind of tucked away. There's a lot of cotos, which are like gated communities there, which we weren't interested in. But
it is a popular choice with families. Honestly, when you put in our criteria into Facebook, it never came up. So I don't know.
There's just nothing there. In our price range.
Maybe it's a price range thing. I mean, I'm sure there's 2 bedrooms because it is more family oriented, but maybe it's a little bit pricier than what we were putting in. It just never came up, and we kind of forgot about it.
Yeah.
Because we weren't specifically looking for that neighborhood. So for 15,000 pesos, Santa Maria came up a lot. It was probably the biggest one, in Aralias.
Yeah. Those came up a lot. There was a lot of great options. Like every apartment that we went to see was livable. There were good things. There were bad things with all of them, including the one that we did choose, which you'll see in the next video. Either Versailles or Agua Azul. And
those are good and bad for us. Like, there wasn't anything bad necessarily. Like some people might not even be bothered by it. It was just based on our preferences.
And guys, there are a lot of really great bachelors and 1-bedrooms out there. Like we were seeing some really nice 1-bedrooms for affordable prices.
Yeah, there's been times where like, could we all just sleep in the same room?
but yeah, the one bedrooms, the market was like decent. Once you look outside of Zona Romantica, Centro, even Cinco de Diciembre, like is getting a little bit expensive around high season.
Mhm.
The other neighborhoods, which, hopefully you got to know a little bit with our video, there are definitely some affordable options and great eats everywhere. There's little tiendas, there's stuff that's walkable.
And I know this is always a question about pets. Yeah, I think a lot of them, like it's negotiable. Like I know ours is listed as no pets, this current one, but the people before us had pets. The person downstairs has a pet. I think it's one of those things where if you bring it up with the owner when you meet them and like they get a good sense of you and they can see the size of the pet, the behavior, whatever, they might like let it go. So if you see a place you really like don't be deterred if it says no pets, unless it's like absolutely no compromising, we're not having pets. But like most places, if you kind
Like
of
I would still message them.
just feel like it's an older dog, it doesn't move, it doesn't bark, like
shits inside.
I don't know.
Pukes on the couch. Someone was asking, I'm going to go through just some questions here. Is short-term allowed? So Airbnb, is it allowed in PV? And this person is from Hawaii. I think they kind of outlawed Airbnbs. There is a little war against Airbnbs in certain states and provinces. But yeah, Airbnbs are allowed in PV. I think Mexico in general allow them.
Yeah, we stayed in an Airbnb when we first got here. They're pretty popular. Yeah, there's Airbnb.
Something we forgot to cover in our video, which maybe we'll cover in our actual house tour video, is do landlords ask for a lot of paperwork, references, proof of income here?
In our experience, this place that we were living at, we didn't have to prove anything. We just had to make our payments.
I think most places we looked at didn't require anything.
Mm-hmm.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think those like proof of income references are for higher end or higher priced places.
The first place that we fell in love with, we talk about it in the video, that place asked for proof of employment and some like IDs and stuff like that. I don't know, like it wasn't like they were super picky, but I think he owned the whole building and he was living in Guadalajara. Like he wasn't like just like a small time landlord. I've heard some things where people have to like go somewhere and get these little slips of paper that are like basically like, I will pay you the rent.
I owe you.
And then someone else signs it and you provide it to the landlord and then they give you it just seems like extra paper.
Yeah.
It
really
just depends on who you're dealing with. The place we did end up signing, we didn't have to prove anything there either. It was just
a contract.
First month's, last month's, and the deposit, which is usually the full month's rent. So you're basically paying 3 months rent.
Yeah, which is rough. Like that's basically the hardest thing would be to give 3 months rent. It's very standard here. So if you're getting a higher end place with a higher rent, it's a lot of money to dish out.
That was surprising when we first moved here because we rent our place back home and we're like, our deposit was just enough to cover like
a few
if
hundred,
you lost
maybe.
the key to the garage or something.
Yeah. Which it also depends on the person renting the apartment. Some people will ask for maybe more if the people are like students and stuff. So like
if you think that they'll, I guess, run away in the middle of the year
or like
break
destroy
things.
the house. Have a frat party.
Like even here we were kind of like, why is it a full month's rent? Like what could we possibly break in here that would like be worth that much money?
Everything wouldn't be worth a full month's rent. Be like half a month's rent.
I don't know. Like it's just so it doesn't make sense. But
including
they do ask
the utility, the fridge and the things.
Yeah, and I think if we broke that fridge, it'd be a blessing.
It says someone commented, PV's actually cheaper than Chihuahua City. I rent my house for 17,000 with no services including, plus 700 pesos in maintenance. So yeah, like we said, there are really two ways of living here in PV. You either go the luxurious route or you go the affordable route. And there are places that are 80,000 pesos per month, and there are places that are 10,000 pesos per month. So it's all about what you're looking for and your expectations. Like you're not going to find really anything for 10,000 pesos a month that's a minute walk from the beach per
Yeah,
se.
like you're not gonna have concierge and aircon in every room and
Yeah.
like 3 bedrooms for 10. Like probably not gonna
Mhm.
happen. Like if you find that, let me know where you found it. I want to know.
Yeah.
We want to tape it. But yeah, there's not a lot of.
We want to rent it.
Yeah, we also
not
wanna
tape it.
we want to record it and rent it and steal it from you. But um, yeah, like you
Yeah.
can have both ways. But I would say that I think like the cheapest we've been seeing for a 2 bedroom is like 12.
Yeah. Some people have commented on some of our, cost of living videos, like, oh yeah, I rented, a full house. Yeah, we've had some people comment on some of our videos, like, yeah, I came to PV a couple summers ago, rented a full house for my whole family for 8K, and it was walkable to the beach. And we're like, really though?
Well,
Why
yeah, you have
you
to
always lying?
understand like everything's gotten more expensive here and everywhere in the
Yeah.
world. It's no different here.
Also, like for that price, wasn't anything luxurious guaranteed. Like we didn't see anything for under 10K in general. Like maybe a few things here and there that were
Yeah, it would be like an
not
unfurnished
great.
studio.
Yeah.
Would be like under 10K you can find.
But within our price range, I'd say 13 and up for like a couple bedrooms. There were some things that were decent for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Another comment we got was in regards to water pressure. So they're like, yeah, for sure, check the water pressure everywhere. You never know if they turned off the water unless you ask, of course. But when you're checking water pressure, like, do ask them, is this it? Nada más. And also mold. So mold around the apartment, especially in the bathroom area if there's poor ventilation. Mold can accumulate. It's very humid here in PV.
Mhm.
So that's a big issue.
Yeah, even going into places that haven't been lived in for a while, like the person showing you will always like kind of go in before you and like turn on the fans and open the windows, and they're like, it's not always like this. It's just because it's been humid and like no one's been in here, and like that's true if there's a place and the windows and doors are all closed for a long period of time, it starts to have that sort of like humid, moldy smell.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's indicate. What do you say that? I don't know if it indicates that there is actually like a mold issue in the place, or if
Yeah.
it's just like that kind of musky smell.
If it's starting.
Yeah, I don't know. But it happens. It happened here.
Yeah, it's happened a couple times where the smell was a bit funky and they were just like, no one's been in here
It's
for a
just
little
like
while.
humid everywhere, and there's
Yeah.
no airflow, so it starts to have that damp smell.
Yeah, for sure. This person asked here, when we send an appointment request or when we ask questions, is it in English or Spanish?
Spanish all the time.
Yeah. I'd say I think I replied with like 95% plus, like always Spanish. Sometimes they would see the name come up and they would reply in English, but very rare. So just be prepared to have your translator up. And yeah, sometimes like they exchange the WhatsApp number as well. So they prefer you message them on WhatsApp to schedule a viewing or an appointment, and then they call you. So if you don't,
And we're like, don't call us.
so if you don't speak, even for us, like we're very good at writing and reading in Spanish or talking in person, but on the telephone, it's the hardest thing because
you can't see them.
Yeah, you can't see the body language, like what they're, I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, it's hard. Like we've had issues in drive-through.
Yeah, we can't go through drive-through. Like
I cannot understand a word. We ended up with like
Starbucks was
200 pesos worth of stuff we didn't want somehow.
Yeah, Starbucks was a problem one time, and we were traumatized. So
we're like, all I wanted was a cookie. We got like a frappe.
Yeah,
like we don't like that stuff.
So yeah, just make sure to either like say I don't speak really good Spanish, or just continue the conversation in Spanish on WhatsApp.
On WhatsApp, yeah.
This person here said gentrified international version to our video. So my question to you is, if you are a Mexican local living here, what is your version of apartment hunting? We'd love to know how you search for places. Let us know so we can apply that to our next apartment hunting video at some point.
All of the apartments we
Pretty great,
saw
yeah.
were shown to us by local Mexicans. This place is a local Mexican.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that means, but yeah, next one.
Yeah, let us know. Comment down below again. Clarify, please do. And the last comment, which wasn't in regards to this video, but they were basically saying, congrats, that's inspiring. My wife and I just got our permanent residency in Mexico, so congrats on that. We're still here in Texas. We're tossing around the idea of creating a YouTube channel to document it as well. We're enjoying your videos because PV is one of the areas we're considering. So thank you so much for that comment. It goes on a little bit, but why I wanted to bring this comment up was because, yeah, like definitely do start documenting the process even from when you are back home. I don't think that there's enough YouTubers kind of showing the whole process and behind the scenes, especially here in PV. Especially here in PV, where there's a lot of people or YouTubers that are in and out. Hey, buddy. There's a lot of YouTubers that come to PV, but they're in and out. So they're showing the Malecon, they're showing Zona Romantica, they're doing a few things here and there. Want to say anything? No. Whose birthday is it soon? Me. In how many days? 4 days. Bassie's birthday is coming up, and he's beyond excited about it. But yeah, there's like not enough YouTubers that are living here showing the real life here as like an immigrant, or even like, you know, a Mexican showing what it is from their perspective. And it's always really interesting to get the different perspectives, the different types of people living here. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, the more the merrier. What, like, why not just start one? Do start the YouTube channel because you're just passionate about documenting. Don't start it for monetary reasons. If you're wondering what new YouTubers make once they get monetized, go check out our episode on that. But yeah, just do it because like you legitimately want to do it. Maybe you want to grow it into a business eventually, but yeah. All right, guys. The next topic is about really negative people online, whether it be on YouTube or Facebook groups about Mexico. I call some of these people gatekeepers. And what a gatekeeper is basically is someone that's like standing at the gate and they have something really cool and fun behind them, and they're not letting you come in because you're not part of the club. And there's a lot of those people we find. You know, we're often on Facebook groups looking at for information or looking at people's conversations. We're not ones to really comment much or ever. But talk about some of the interactions we've had when we have asked for advice.
Yeah, so there was one time in particular, our car broke down. Obviously, in that situation, we weren't expecting the car to break down. We had the kids with us. We had only been here for a couple of weeks, so I put in the one of the Facebook groups, like, hey, like, this is what happened. Like, does anyone know how much something like this will cost to have repaired? We're at a mechanic's right now. And people answered with like the least helpful information. I got a lot of, it costs what it costs, which honestly, I think like steam came out of my ears.
Yeah, like that doesn't help us on
like,
the side of the road with 2 kids.
And then a lot of people saying, don't be cheap, pay them what it's worth. And I'm like, yeah, like that's what I'm asking. Yes. Like, what is it worth here? Like, I don't even know what it would cost in Canada. So I don't know, like we didn't have a lot of money on us at the time.
Yeah, like that was our main concern, was that we were going to get the repair, but we were kind of far from any sort of ATM or bank. So we were just concerned about literally the payment because we didn't have a lot of money on us at the time.
And we were thinking, does one of us need to go catch an Uber to the bank and the other person have to stay here? And what do we need to do? And let's do it while they're working instead of like waiting. And that's what I was trying to figure out. But yeah, it was a lot of it costs what it costs, which is the least helpful thing you could say to somebody.
A lot of negative, like, why would you even take the time
to
write that out of your day?
You know,
Like, how
long
bad is your day
messages
going?
about like how hard the people work here and we need to support. I'm like, I'm not trying to cheap out on this.
It was
I
a
just
super
want
straightforward like question.
Like if they were like, it's going to be the equivalent of 300 Canadian dollars, I'd be like, okay, like, I don't know. Like, we're kind of in a situation, we needed it fixed. We couldn't go anywhere. I just needed to know what it was so I could figure out if we had that on us or someone needed to go do something.
Yeah.
And it's just like that type of thing where people ask an innocent question, they're looking for help, and it's just like met with so much sarcasm, assumptions about what, like, they read into it way too much and then like are negative on that. And the person's like, I didn't even say anything about that.
Yeah. And some questions sometimes are annoying. You know, what you can do is just move on.
Yeah,
you don't have to be
scrolling.
negative. You don't have to be condescending. You don't even have to reply if you're not going to be helpful. You can just move on. But some people, again, feel like they are gatekeepers to certain things. They feel like they're the gatekeepers to those moving to Mexico Facebook groups. And it's just so annoying. A lot of the times, I'm not saying all the time, they have top contributor beside their name because they're contributing
negativity
but, yeah, not too much. And we just find a lot of that, like a lot of OGs that may have moved here or may have traveled here frequently in the past.
It's like they came, like they were like one of the first in this wave of, you know, US Canadian immigration. And then like anyone after is kind of annoying to them, or like, you know, like they've seen
like,
these
why don't
questions.
you know this?
Yeah, it's like this, like a lot of times it's around asking questions about safety. That's a big one that really triggers people. And it's an understandable question when you're moving anywhere. Like what areas are safe for, you know, like sometimes it's specific for families, for a woman traveling alone, for this or for that. And people just like rip them apart. And I feel like it's not safe to ask a question in the Facebook group.
The Facebook group
that's
is
where you're
not
gonna,
safe.
That's where it's not safe.
But safety is one that is a real concern. And like, we understand that, you know, we've been fed for many decades now just straight propaganda about Mexico and cartel and how it's not safe. And obviously there are some areas where that is true, but it's not all areas, not even close. But safety in 2023, wherever you're moving, anywhere in Canada, anywhere in the United States, Mexico, should be like not a concern, but well, it's like a legitimate
question. It's like, I'm moving here. Is it safe? Like, is it safe to walk around at night? It's a normal question.
And if you live your life based on fear, that's an issue. If mainstream propaganda is your main source of information, then I get it. Like, the best thing about the media is just turning it off and going to some of these Facebook groups with some of your questions or reaching out to people who actually live there. That is the best thing you could do. But it is a legitimate concern, even when it comes to a family of 4 moving, 2 countries down. It's just like, it's going to be a concern.
Yeah, it's always going to be a question no matter what.
And if you're offended by that, then, I mean, you need to turn your tablets off and your phone and go outside and go for a nice long walk.
If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything. I know that's like the oldest advice ever.
Meditate.
I will say this, like, you see a lot of that online, especially in the larger Facebook groups. You don't necessarily feel that in person here. I think if they are, I'm sure those people are walking around, but they're not like that in person. It's just like a keyboard warrior
like, I'm going to be, I'm going to feel like big.
Yeah. So my advice is on the big Facebook groups, they are very helpful still. You just use the search option, search for your question, read other people getting teared apart for asking that question and get the information you need. And then like try and find smaller groups. Like there's a neighborhood Cinco de Diciembre Facebook group, for example, and I find that one really good. Yeah. People are very nice to each other. I've asked questions there and it's always answered with, like helpful information. and no judgment or attitude. So
message people that live there.
Mhm.
You know, message us. We don't know everything or even close to, but we're definitely good at replying, you know,
on Instagram.
with what we do know, or, you know, however we can be helpful. We try to be helpful, Instagram or Facebook. But yeah, don't let the negativity on some of these groups or with some of these people kind of discourage you by any means. Not everyone is like that. And on to maybe our next topic, like we've had some amazing interactions with some of you guys, our viewers, that stop us, that talk to us, that tell us like we're the reason they moved to PV.
One of the reasons.
Yeah. So don't let us be the only reason you moved to PV. Like definitely look into it a little bit more. But yeah, just like some of those interactions have come at times where, you know, as much as, you know, the people have told us they needed it, like we needed it as well, right?
Mhm.
Everyone is on like a different path, a different journey, but we've kind of been there for some of you guys that we've interacted with, like being new in PV, being lost in PV, or in Mexico in general. So it's been really refreshing to have those conversations with you guys. And yeah, we've definitely needed it at times to kind of keep us motivated to do these videos and keep us going. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you. Shout out to Jasmine.
Shout out to everyone. Yeah, comment down below if you've seen us in the wild. Very rare to see us in the wild filming. We're pretty sneaky with
like
it. Yeah, we're like ninjas out there, but you might see us on the Malecon with the kids doing scooter. Don't be shy. Come say hi. Yeah, we love just interacting with you guys. It definitely motivates us as, you know, our little channel grows to keep that connection with you guys.
Yeah, say hi. Like, don't. Yeah, you can say hi and talk. You don't have to say hi and run away. That's happened before.
Hi. Or someone commented like, hey, I saw you guys walking or whatever. Yeah, just come say hi. We don't bite. We're very
Like we're not gonna be
approachable,
mad that you said hi. Like just yeah.
But
Costco
once
or
we
whatever.
reach 5K subscribers, don't talk to us.
Yeah, we'll forget about the little people.
Yeah. Our day ones are no longer our day ones. Just kidding. But really, we are on the path to 5K subscribers by the year end. So hit that subscribe button.
And share.
And share with family, with friends, with everyone on your Facebook.
If you know their passwords, sign them up.
I want to end on this donation we got from buymeacoffee.com/morelivediaries. All donations are greatly appreciated. You basically buy us a coffee. It's like $5 a coffee. And yeah, it just keeps the lights on in the MLD studio. So thank you so much
to anyone who's donated.
This one, should I read it? I'll read it.
Okay, so this one it's clearly towards Mark.
Yeah.
And I just want to say before he starts, it made my day. I shared it with a lot of our friends.
And it made some of our friends' day, not week, like the full week. I've been hearing about it. Let's go. So, hello, hope all is well. I'm a fan of yours. Love all the videos. I follow quite a few channels, but never donated. I've noticed that you're going with the rugged look hairstyle. Not too sure if you cut it yourself, but use the money to get a haircut/beard cut to support your local barbershop. Let them do it once. You could still go with a rugged look, but cleaner. Not judging you, but that's the first thing I look at. I myself get a haircut once a week, and I go on vacation with my family to PV and support the barbershop there. But if you really feel strongly about not going to the barbershop and doing it yourself, by all means, buy yourself some coffee. Just my thought. Best wishes to your family and you. Blessings. So I don't know how to feel about it. I'm so grateful for the donation, the 5 coffees.
He was very kind in the.
I'm also hurt,
and
it was honestly very kind and genuine. But yeah, I mean,
Mark does not.
I'll take the abuse if you're gonna donate money. So
Mark does go to the barber. He does not cut his own hair. It's just been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. And I have to say that I don't necessarily disagree with the comments. I'm glad someone called me out for it, because sometimes I'm editing the video and I'm like, "Woo, Kathleen, your husband, woof." Yeah, sometimes I'm looking pretty rough out there in the wild. I'm not going for any look in particular. I'm just like hot,
Sweaty.
steamy, sweaty. I'm just like, man, I'm too hot to cut my hair. I'm too hot to shave. But I do agree. So we will be using the money to get a haircut. We're going to document it. We'll be going to the barber shop that I go to the barber that I go to, and I desperately do need a haircut. So it wasn't even a lie. Mark needs a haircut. Mark trimmed his own beard. But yeah, the hair's got to go. It's really long, and it hasn't been this long in quite a long time. But yeah, I'm just someone that's so lazy about shaving my beard and cutting my hair. And Kathleen does not like hold me accountable, does not call me out. She's just like, it looks fine to me.
It does.
If I have stuff in my teeth, she's like, I didn't really see it. Like, we've had to film stuff over again because I'm like, this is unacceptable. You need to tell me.
It's never
have like
been
one hair that's just sticking straight out.
Yeah, that happened. But I didn't notice.
I know you didn't notice.
It was lost in your eyes.
So guys, comment down below. Kathleen needs to make a better effort at calling me out sometimes. I know she loves me. She thinks I'm handsome at times, even though she doesn't tell me often.
I tell you all the time.
But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching and tuning in. If you've made it this far, you are greatly appreciated.
Thank you so much for the person that donated that money.
Man, comment down below if it's you watching the channel so we know what your username is. But yeah, all jokes aside, I'm not someone that's sensitive or that
yeah, so me either. If there's anyone out there that's so tired of my clothes and my makeup and wants to, talk about it on buymeacoffee.com/
I need new sandals.
Diaries.
We need a new TV. I need an iPhone. Donate now.
Someone hate Mark's iPhone.
Yeah. Thanks so much, guys.
Kidding.
We appreciate you. Comment down below. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, do all the good stuff to keep us going. On that note, this is our journey. More Life Diaries. Peace.